Episode 4 of Outlander. Blood of My Blood begins with Julia spilling milk. Porter believes they have angered the fairies, and Julia does her best to appease them. In her letter to Henry, she wrote that my parents taught me to believe on God, but she confesses that she may have started believing in fairies. In a flashback to the 20th century, they are preparing for their firstborn. Having a shared love for Peter Pan, they agree to name the kid Peter if it is a boy. While Henry jokes about the gender, he assures Julia that he'll love their child even if it is a girl. At present, she again writes on a page to Henry that she's worried that her second child may be taken from her. I've done to keep what I can, to keep my baby safe, but I will never stop trying to get back to you. Lovat is arriving home after some business, and she gives herself rashes to avoid his advances. To make some quick money, the brothel madam claims to have found Julia and sends one of her brunette girls to Henry. He is upset, but also relieved that Julia is not in a brothel. He refuses the brunette's advances, but pays her anyway. Later, Isaac has Henry write a letter to Lovat. Without evidence, the Grants won't reject Ellen. But Lovat is determined to find evidence to ruin Ellen, which worries Brian. Lovat is about to approach Julia, but he panics on seeing the rashes. He lets her go to the apothecary, but with a chaperone. Brian offers, but it is still disappointing as he won't let her escape. In Leoc, Colum announces that they will be participating in Beltane, a festival being held in 2 months. Ellen has to accompany Malcolm as his betrothed. She is upset the marriage is still happening and begs him to call it off. She is not interested to marry Malcolm. Did you forget the agreement that we did on gathering? Tell them I've changed the mind. You made a terrible mistake in recommending your sister as a wife to solve the problems. I don't care what you tell him. Colum reveals that Isaac kills those who spurn his family. Plus they are in debt for which they need Grant money. Grants are wealthy. He also suggests she be a spy for them, and she is furious. She lashes out at Dougal as well, who is suddenly docile. She realizes that he's just biding his time till Colum fails so Dougal can replace him. Next, Isaac orders Henry to collect the rent for quarter day. He has increased the taxes 1 shilling more, and Henry has no authority to allow any IOUs. Bug accompanies him to ensure there's no stealing. Henry started his job to collect the rent. First person gave a rent with 1 shilling increase. But one lady hasn't enough money to pay her rent, so she gave honey instead of coin. Mr. Buggs refused to take this honey, because Laird will not be pleased. Henry said, I'm accepting this honey. One more man refused to pay the increase in rent. He gets violent as the tenants don't have the money. A desperate tenant attacks, and Henry beats him up. He gets PTSD and nearly kills the man. He stops on seeing Julia's necklace. Bug just enjoys Henry's suffering. If you didn't get all coins from these people, then it'll be your head on a pike. That night, Henry has a nightmare, just like he used to in the 20th century. Back in his timeline, Julia would comfort him by singing a lullaby. Presently, Bug woke up him and asked, what's wrong with you, man? You're screaming the name of Julia in your sleep. He said, I'm a nightmare. Bug looks suspicious as Henry is jittery and sings the lullaby himself. Meanwhile, Brian and Julia bond as he is amused with the way she faked the rashes. She asked him, why did you live in leather? You have to start his family. Brian said, I left this place last year, but then I came back because I missed my mother. Then Julia told him that you're a good son and mother is the name of God in the lip and heart of the children. Not too far away, Henry recalls how he'd been upset about a national lottery, and Julia had explained that it gives hope for those who has no money during the war, so politicians want to raise money quickly. Henry introduces a lottery system in which the winner won't have to pay rent for the next year. Unintentionally, the tenants who can afford to buy multiple tickets easily cover for those who cannot even afford the rent. Bug is annoyed by the loophole, but Henry points out that money is money. People were surprised and started to pay money, but Bug warned him that Laird's instruction is cleared. Do whatever you want. Julia is surprised as he asks her to send a message to Ellen. Julia said, "I'm with my baby, and I don't want to put my baby in any danger." "Why did you not tell me earlier?" She told him, "I'm here to find my husband." Brian makes a deal with her. If she helped him, then he'll help Julia to escape, and she agrees. Brian told her about Murtazani, who's Ellen's maid. "She'll help you." Back at Leoc, Julia talked to the Mrs. Fitz, and during discussion, Julia asked about the Lady Ellen. Fitz told her to take rest, and I've to go to Ellen to give him dinner. Julia takes advantage of Mrs. Fitz's kindness to gain entry. She then sneaks into Ellen's room and reveals that Brian wants to meet her. Ellen is conflicted because her brothers hate the Fraser. They'll kill him if they saw him. They'll have no mercy. Both are watching my every move. But Julia pushes her to make the choice she won't regret. In her rant, Ellen lets it slip that she may have to dance with Malcolm and the Fae on the Inverness Hill during Beltane. Julia realizes that the location is Craigh Dun, from where she time-traveled. Julia asks, "Do you love Brain?" "Yes, from my heart." "Then go to meet him. If you don't go, then it'll hurt you forever." They easily sneak out and find Brian waiting nearby. Julia asked, "Why did you come here?" "I just want to see in your eyes. Will you marry with Malcolm Grant?" "Look into my eyes and see I don't want to marry him." The couple professes their love to each other. Julia told him that I'll find a way out of my betrothal. Brian promises to help Ellen. Julia hears Dougal and runs off with Brian. Dougal arrived and asked, "What are you doing here at late night?" "I couldn't sleep, so I came outside to pray. I didn't want any walls between me and the Lord. Lord Cam hear you in your chamber. You should live there. You will be free when you will be married with Malcolm Grant." Turns out, Ellen is under house arrest, out of fear that she may run off before the wedding. As they leave, Julia offers to distract Malcolm during Beltane so Brian and Ellen can meet. In exchange, she wants Brian's help in looking for Henry, as she thinks he's in Inverness. Because both are separated from this place, Ellen came with a list of all guests that'll be invited. Ellen schemes as well, as she suddenly tells Colum that she won't refuse the marriage for the clan's sake. He is suspicious for a minute, but chooses to believe her. There is trouble at the Grants, as Isaac is unhappy with the lottery. Henry told him that we collected double the amount by introducing a lottery. Despite raising double the amount, he refuses to give the prize. Henry barely holds his rage as he offers to cover the winner's rent from his earning. "You'll pay from your pocket." Henry said, "Aid, yes." "You're foolish." Isaac comments that Highlanders consider kindness to be a weakness, but lets it go this one time. Once Henry leaves, Bug offers to kill him as he finds him strange. Isaac seems to agree as he tells Bug to keep an eye on Henry. In the 20th century, Henry apologizes for scaring Julia with his PTSD. He claims he's broken and a burden to my wife. She insists that he's not, and that she and their child will be his light. He decides to name the child Claire, if it's a girl, as it means bright. At present, he goes back to the brunette hooker as he has nowhere to go. She asked him either he found her lady or not. He confesses that the woman he's looking for is his wife. She is apologetic and tries to comfort him. He refuses and just lies down. At the end of Outlander, Blood of My Blood Episode 4, Lovat tries to sleep with Julia. She stops him, announcing that she's carrying his child. He's delighted and hopes it's a boy. Porter is present and she congratulates him and Julia.